The names work. Framework. I promise that's the only time I'm gonna make that joke.
It's an easy joke because that line is quintessential Bond. We know the tropes. 007 always gets the job done, but not without chatting up a few ladies and doing something reckless along the way. We know this thanks to decades of movies and the original novels before that. There's no shortage of James Bond media, but there aren't very many origin stories. 007 First Light is one of them. What's remarkable is that this game doesn't just give us the start of young James's story, it also teaches us to become Bond.
Please don't demonetize me, Lana.
We're going to walk through the opening hours of First Light together, but I need to briefly touch on how the game itself took form. It was developed by IO Interactive, which is a match made in heaven. I can only think of a few other combinations as perfect as this. It's up there with Wolfenstein developer Machine Games making an Indiana Jones adventure, or Evil Empire, the studio behind Dead Cells, releasing some Castlevania DLC for that, followed by a full-fledged Castlevania game. IO Interactive is best known for the Hitman franchise, and that's why it was the perfect team to make First Light. Hitman's World of Assassination trilogy, which released from 2016 to 2021, was a renaissance for IOI. It sent Agent 47 on a killer globetrotting adventure, with each new map serving as a beautiful playground of possibility where we could take down targets however we saw fit. Bond's assignments also sent him to these vacation destinations, so it only made sense for IOI to take its talent to the 007 franchise. Hitman 2016 kicked off with a Paris fashion show, arguably the most iconic setup in the whole trilogy. First Light starts a lot less glamorous, with a plane crash over Iceland. Bond is on that plane because he's an air crewman in the British Special Air Service. They were meant to retrieve an asset in Iceland, but they weren't the only ones going after it. There are mercenaries here too, and they shot down the SAS. Bond is the lone survivor, so securing the asset becomes his responsibility. Iceland is not just our tutorial, it's also his. An MI6 handler hijacks his comms to teach all of us the elements of a successful mission: stealth, investigation, and sabotage. These dots are the building blocks of a Bond adventure, so you're gonna see them all over this video. Step 1 involves reaching the camp, which means learning how to sneak around enemies, take cover, and climb up ledges. Once Bond gets there, he'll need to find a jacket and warm up. Hypothermia is a real threat here.
Conversely, I am wearing a suit in the middle of a heat wave. It's not a tux, but I hope you appreciate the commitment.
Inside the camp, Bond can gather information to help with his mission. This involves inspecting items, eavesdropping on mercs, and getting a general lay of the land. You can't be a spy without understanding the space, and then messing with it. Sabotage is a big and fun part of these operations. Distracting enemies or sending a vehicle careening forward is a great way to divert attention and slip past the guards, eventually leading Bond to the crashed satellite that everyone is here to claim. But there is more to being Bond than those first 3 dots. It wouldn't be a good spy story if there wasn't some sort of twist or complication, and James wouldn't be himself if he didn't go against orders at some point. It's in his nature, and it happens here before he's even earned his number. The SAS crew is dead, but the scientists already on base were taken captive by the mercs. Bond is supposed to just blow the place up, ensuring that no one else is able to steal the satellite, but he refuses to do that without rescuing the hostages first. That maverick energy takes us to our climax. I mean, you gotta wrap things up with a big action scene. In Iceland, it's a daring escape from camp that starts with a crashing tower, followed by fleeing scientists and an ATV ride, all before blowing the place to smithereens. All of this puts Bond on MI6's radar. Despite defying their orders, he got the job done, his way. After meeting important figures like Moneypenny, M, and Greenway, young James starts his official training. You'd be forgiven if you thought Iceland was the only tutorial in this game, but Bond still has to learn the basics of social engineering and combat.
And yes, there are now exactly 7 dots in that animation.
For the next little while, we'll be bouncing back and forth between London's MI6 headquarters and the proving grounds in Malta. And I gotta say, the training montage that follows is perfectly executed. We're jumping between boxing matches, driving courses, shooting ranges, and capture the flag sessions in an instant. So even though there's a lot to learn, it doesn't feel like it's dragging on. Our final round of Capture the Flag brings these building blocks together for the first time, as Bond and his buddies decide to steal the prize the night before the actual training exercise. That means sneaking past, or taking on, actual MI6 guards, using everything we've learned so far: stealth, investigation, sabotage, and social engineering like bluffs and fake surrenders, all in the name of surprising Greenway in the morning.
We followed it, sir.
Let's not forget all the Q-Lab gadgets we get to use too. They don't get their own dots, but they are a huge part of stealth and sabotage. At this stage, we can hack electronics remotely to cause distractions or fire a sickening dart from our phones.
Mine doesn't do that.
Capture the Flag might bring all the elements together, but it's not a true field test. That comes next. Despite all we've done so far, and, the title of this video, we still haven't actually done a mission in the real world. Field tests come first. And after all this training, Bond and his buddies decide to have a night out. Some Trade Ministry troublemakers also happen to show up at the same nightclub, so the field test is officially on. Our target is one Joshua Pike. Reaching him is going to require all the skills we've learned once again, now with actual stakes. Sneaking through the employees only area? That's a check for stealth. Investigation? It's there. Sabotage? Check. Social engineering? That one might get Bond into some trouble. He picked the wrong girl in a red dress to start talking to, and her boyfriend isn't having it. Let's go ahead and check combat off the list too, shall we? This is also the first time we get to choose our own objective path through the level. It's a bit more involved than Capture the Flag. Pike is up in the VIP section, and there are several ways to get there. I did a little eavesdropping and used that info to get myself a VIP stamp. Alternatively, taking one of those employee staircases or climbing up the backstage area would have gotten me there. Once we hack Pike's phone and trick him into a back room, we can pose as him to finish this field test. This is where social engineering can help us out, or hurt us again. Hello twist/complication, something that did not factor into Capture the Flag. This time, it's the girl in the red dress who cuts in at an inopportune moment.
You didn't think we were leaving this place without more drama, did you?
We're also not getting out of this club without a final fight. The jealous boyfriend and his buddies are back, and even though Bond is supposed to meet everyone else outside, he can't help but throw down one more time. He goes rogue, as the dot says, and throws a few punches before we finally call it a night.
You're late.
Let's review. We've gotten on MI6's radar, gone through their training program, and passed the field test. Folks, we're finally there. It's time for First Light's first mission.
That's all. No copyright strikes, please.
Bond and the Double O's in training are sent to the Grand Carpathian Hotel, the site of an international chess championship. This place could 100% double as a Hitman map. But Bond's assignment is a simple one after he left the nightclub late. He's supposed to chauffeur some other operatives posing as a couple, then just wait in the parking lot. Until he sees a weird bellhop dumping a suitcase into the bushes. Cue that rogue spirit. Let's find out what's going on here. Even just getting inside the hotel is much easier said than done. There are no guardrails in this mission, but there are plenty of guards. One way of getting past them is to eavesdrop on a reporter to learn about an extra press pass she stashed in a nearby flower pot. Another option is to distract a smoker with a leaky water hose, take their lighter, burn some leaves as a distraction, hop over the railing, and shimmy our way into the second floor of the hotel. One of those paths took a lot longer to describe than the other, but they're both equally valid.
What? Ken Banks, penetration tester.
As we tail the bellhop around the hotel, the situation only gets more mysterious. The suitcase he dumped apparently belongs to a famous author, and that's not the only thing he stole. A page has also been torn out of an old book. Locked staff-only doors, which are expected in a nice place like this, make following our target tricky, but we can nab a key from a distracted worker or find one in a drawer if we look thoroughly. The bellhop's path leads us to the laundry room, and getting in there is one of the greatest early game examples of doing things your way. There are two keys that I found. One is inside the hotel manager's safe, and the other is in the pocket of a staff member in the study. Whichever one you choose, you'll need to use a variety of distractions to actually get close enough to the prize. If you go for the manager's key, you'll also need to solve a fun puzzle involving vintage wines. Lots of love for the investigation and sabotage dots there. The laundry room itself is a different story. It is chock full of guards who've been told to look out for anyone suspicious. It's a challenging stealth section, but if things go wrong, you can always fight your way out. Our target isn't down here though. He ditched the bellhop disguise, which means we're looking for someone else now. Thankfully, we know to start with room 206. Predictably, that's locked too, but we can try to access it via the neighboring rooms. We can steal the key to 205 and cut through there, scaring an innocent lady in the tub along the way. Not the first time Bond has talked to a bathing beauty.
Aren't you in the wrong room, Mr. Bond?
Not from where I'm standing.
We can also go through room 207 by climbing around the hotel's outer wall. There's a couple having an argument in this one, so a little bit of smooth talking might be required to get through. When we finally get into room 206, we learn that our target has switched costumes again, but we do have a new heading. We're off to the dining room. Hey, did you know there's a secret passage in here? That leads us to the hotel basement, where a bomb has been rigged directly under the chess tournament. Hello, further complications. At least we can finally take down the weird blonde guy we've been chasing this whole time. Oh, don't forget the other word on that dot. There is a twist here, and honestly, it got me pretty good. We haven't been tailing just one guy. We've been following a set of twins. Better make that a double boss fight. And if there are two blondes, then there might also be two bombs. First Light's first mission doesn't end here. Just like in Iceland, there's an action-packed climax to cap this thing off. You can see a lot of it in the game's trailers, but for sake of spoiling any of the set pieces or specific mechanics, I'll call it there.
Climax wasn't one of the dots anyway.
Stealth, investigation, and sabotage are necessary for surviving the plane crash in Iceland. Social engineering and combat are added once we start our official training at MI6 headquarters and Malta. Then we add a complication/twist that makes for a good spy story, plus a bit of Bond's inescapable rogue tendencies. In the early game, these two are most apparent in the nightclub. All these elements are slowly taught to the player over the opening act, before letting them off the leash at the Grand Carpathian Hotel, James' first real mission. As we master the mechanics required to complete that mission, he's starting to become the Bond we know and love in real time. First Light isn't just the story of how he got the number 007. We are earning it too.
I would like you to join His Majesty's Secret Service.
Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what I'm doing here on Framework, please hit that subscribe button right above me. I would appreciate it a lot. If you want to watch some of my other stuff, there's a video right up there in the corner. There's also a link to my Patreon if you wish to support me further, and that's what these lovely folks on my other side are doing. Thank you so much once again. I will see you in the next one. I'm gonna get this suit off now.